It's 5 minutes past 10. Thank you for tuning in to 89.7 FM in good company with myself, Lisa Evans. And coming up now, I've got another interview. I'll be chatting with Ciara Lowe Thiedeman, known as the Style Counsellor. And we had Ciara on the show probably about 18 months ago now, sharing some fashion and style tips. Really looking forward to chatting again this morning. Good morning, Ciara.
Good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Very good, thank you. And I'm excited to be chatting with you again. And today we're going to be diving into the topic of our relationship with our wardrobe. And when I read that topic, I had a little bit of a think and I thought, is my relationship with my wardrobe healthy or is it not? So tell us a bit about what you do and in particular what we need to consider about having a healthy relationship with our wardrobe.
Thanks for that. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? The relationship with your wardrobe, and then people tilt their heads to the side and think what's that's all about. So, I qualified in London as an image consultant and a personal stylist, and basically I spend a lot of time in people's wardrobes, emphasis on the word war. And as it turns out, simultaneous to the sustainability crisis that we've got, the excess landfill, when we have a look in people's wardrobes, what I notice is that we have a very damaged relationship with clothes. And that's why we buy so many clothes, because we really were never sat down and talked to about and educated about what it is that we really need to make each of us as already perfect humans, individuals, look and feel like ourselves. We were never taught that. Yeah. And I feel like the evolution of this problem, if we have a little look back at our grandparents, for example, their relationship with clothes versus our relationship with clothes is very, very different.
Yeah.
And where I like to come in at that is they understood the value of clothes. And we are only driven by the cost of clothes now because we can get things for so cheap. And they simply couldn't. And I always say to people, if only we had a little bit more of our grandparents' relationship with clothes, we'd be a whole lot better. So, for example, you take my dad. He would have, in the mid-60s, was an apprentice plumber. And he would have been in his late teens. And he had one suit. Mm-hmm. And that suit, apart from his pajamas, his soccer gear, and his overalls for work, was the only outfit that he had.
Yeah.
So he would have absolutely valued that. And he tells stories of buying the fabric. Mm-hmm. So he went in, picked the fabric that he wanted because he needed it to be as hard-wearing as possible. And the skills associated with making that garment were all within his household, between his mom and his sisters. And also there was no specific, there was a pattern, but there was not you're a size 12. He knew how to dress his body, or the women knew how to dress their bodies. They understood what was needed.
It's a skill that we've lost, really, isn't it? And I think if any of us reflect and think about our parents or even our grandparents, they had the skills to not only value things, but also to be able to repair things and to be able to alter things and to be able to mend and pass things down. When I think about my own mum, her grandfather was a pattern maker and tailor all through the war years, and she picked up that skill. And mum can make anything, and she just uses newspapers to create a pattern. And I look at that skill and just think, wow, that's such an incredible skill to have. When I think about some of those negative aspects of our relationship with our wardrobe, I'm thinking about things such as, we put on weight or we lose weight, but we hang on to those clothes that we used to fit into. Why do we hang on to those clothes? Is it because we're thinking about those times that we had when we were that size or when that was part of our lives? Do you know what drives that behaviour, Ciara?
Yeah, so in my experience, when I go into people's wardrobes, there's kind of three sections. Mm-hmm. There is what I like to refer to as the museum of the life gone past, the body, the lifestyle that's gone past. Yeah. Then there's also the future version. That's like the museum for the life I'd like to live and the body I'd like to have.
Right. Yeah.
And I suggest to people that what they really want to do is remove anything from their wardrobe that doesn't fit their already perfect today body, and literally just live in the boutique of Lisa, for example. That's all we've got in there. We hold on to things, but also the fashion industry hasn't really helped us at all. The fashion industry is, it's constantly changing things, and we constantly changing things. There's fast-paced, really, changing trends, micro trends, to make us feel like we can never keep up.
Yeah.
And I guess sometimes we keep older things to kind of remind us of happier times in a happier body.
Yeah.
But it is really about, that's a very damaged relationship with our clothes. We need to release those.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying throw them away, because, sometimes there is some real serious sentimentality in there.
Yeah.
But really your wardrobe needs to be a place of opportunity and joy that is going to service you right now.
Yeah.
And I call those clothes, I say in everyone's wardrobe, there are two types of clothes. There is the workers and there is the lurkers.
Yeah.
And those clothes that you describe are lurking because they are not actually adding any value whatsoever. They're costing you.
Yeah.
They're costing you energy. And, those types of clothes that don't fit you anymore are basically calling you fat every morning that you see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if we don't keep people in our Facebook who would do that, why would we keep inanimate objects, clothes in our wardrobe that call us those names?
Yeah.
It's really time to sort of move them on, even if it's not away, into a box in the garage at least, but out of that wardrobe so that you can better and more clearly see what your style is. What do you want to look like here and now today?
Yeah. And I imagine that would bring a real sense of satisfaction and relief when you open the wardrobe doors and you know that every single thing in there not only fits you but looks good on you, and you are also wearing those things. You're not having to rifle through all the things that no longer suit you or you're not wearing. So either get rid of them, give them away, give them to charity, or reuse, recycle those clothes, or put them somewhere else. If you can't bear to part with them, just put them in a box somewhere else. Literally
out of sight, out of mind, and it won't impact your mental health because you'll carry that burden for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And really, is this what services you? One of the things I also say too is, people ask me all the time, well, if I'm not working with you, how do I find out what my style is? Yeah. And I say, go and look in the wash basket.
Okay.
Because that is where what you're actually wearing is located. Mm-hmm. So things like, sleeve lengths and necklines, the ones that you repeat, you'll find there will be patterns of behavior in there.
Yeah.
Go and have a look in there. That's where you'll find it. Yeah. And then, between the wash basket and what you need in your wardrobe is actually an awful lot less than what you think it is. Mm. And it's really when you take out all of that stuff that you're not actually using, given that, the average Australian wears 15% of her wardrobe 85% of the time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of space to create.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll instantly have a much better relationship with your wardrobe than opening the doors and being called fat or old or boring.
Yeah. No, we don't want that. We want to get on well with our wardrobe, and I love that metaphor of taking the war out of the wardrobe, because it does seem like a fight sometimes when we open that and we're faced with so much choice. I organise my wardrobe by colour. It just sort of helps me to sort it out in a different way. But I've got things in there that I haven't worn for a while that I really should part with, and I never really challenged myself and asked myself, why is that? Most people I think just accept that's the way it is. But it doesn't have to be.
I think if your listeners could take one thing away from today is really to have a look at every day, look at what it is that you reach for in your wardrobe, and look at what it is that you reach past.
Okay.
And if you go into your wardrobe and you reach past something, maybe a full season you haven't reached for a garment, pull it out and ask yourself why. Why am I not reaching for this?
Yeah.
And you are going to learn an awful lot about your personal style, just understanding that. It might be the neckline. You might love the color and the cut, and the brand and the quality, but you might not like the neckline. that's a note to yourself to stop buying that neckline in any circumstance going forward.
Yeah.
And also, importantly, look at what you repeat the good behaviours, because there'll be loads of those.
Yeah.
When you examine a garment that you wear a lot, why do you wear it a lot? What is it that you love about it?
Yeah.
Repeat those behaviours.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful tips. And we can find out more about you you're on social media as the Style Counsellor, correct?
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
And on my website, thestylecounsellor.com.au.
Great. Thank you so much, Ciara, for coming back on the show and sharing some wonderful fashion tips with us today.
Thanks so much, Lisa.
Thank you. It is 16 minutes past 10. You're listening to In Good Company, and right after the interview with the Style Counsellor about our relationship with our wardrobe, I'm going to play you this track.